Hey guys, Aaron Dade here with King Blueprint, and I just wanted to hop on real quick to do a video on direction versus purpose. Um, Before we get into that specifically, I would like to discuss something that we see kind of in the comments, and I'm sure that my wife and I will address this when we get on together and so forth and so on. But I'm just doing a video just to first about direction versus purpose, and I want to discuss some of the things that we see in the comments. Now, please listen. We love constructive criticism, or if you see something in what we're describing or what we're talking about that kind of rubs you the wrong way, or you want to talk about it, or you want to discuss it and see what we think about it, because we are restoring marriages here. We are helping people with our testimony to have their marriage restored and to save generations. So as far as I'm concerned, I try to look at comments from an objective point of view, and if I can learn something from them, then great. But I see a lot of things that are, questioning, are we a ministry, or if we're a commercial this or commercial that? And to be honest, it's just really not that high on the priority list. We have a lot bigger things to be discussing, like the Word of God, our perspective as far as if you're having struggles in your marriage, and different things that we talk about as far as parenting and so forth and so on. So the idea that we're going to sit and we're going to have a long conversation about any aspect of the ministry in general, whether it be commercial or whether it just be things that we do out of the goodness of our own hearts, we don't really discuss those things. We don't really make those big spectacles or huge messages about commercial or not. It's just, it has no real bearing to us as far as that's concerned. We are more concerned with saving generations, using our testimony, our oil to save generations, and make sure that we are delivering people's message that from revelation knowledge from God, and making this about God and not ourselves. So please keep your comments not only just respectful, however, also give us constructive criticism about the video. Comment on the video, not on what we do as a ministry, but just comment on the video. We truly appreciate that. If it helped you, how it helped you, what it helped you with, those are the types of things that we like to see from people. So again, we just don't really want to talk about what we do as far as, whether we're a ministry or we're a business. To be 100% honest with you, we tithe way too much time, finances, and so forth and so on to even have that type of conversation. So now let's get to the video about direction versus purpose. When we are mentoring with people, I hear this conversation, especially among standards, of purpose. I know I have this purpose with God. I know God has given me a purpose to do this. I know my calling is this. I know my calling is that. And I definitely understand that. And I love the fact that people are fired up about God and they want to do things for His kingdom, for His own glory. However, what I like to do with people, especially men in general, is discuss how we get there. Really men and women, how we get there. It's one thing to say that I have this purpose and I know I need to fulfill this purpose. However, if you don't know how to get there, if you don't have any instructions how to get there, then it's not, you may know of the purpose, but it's very hard for you to complete that. So when you talk about direction, the way that I look at direction is the steps that it takes to get to your purpose. So it's not really direction versus purpose. It's more like direction being correlated with purpose. Making sure that I'm making decisions that are correlated with my purpose. I'm not just trying to do things with the hope or thought process of eventually I'm going to get to my purpose at some point in time. I'm going to get to my sanctified purpose through God, and I'm just going to kind of close my eyes and any, meeny, miny, mo, and pick whatever purpose makes sense, and I'll get there eventually. So direction to me is like a compass or Google Maps or anything that has directions or advice to how you get to your purpose. How to identify your purpose begins with looking at the decisions that you make. So I can relate to this especially because at one time I thought my purpose was only to be the best father and the best husband I possibly could be, especially in my worldly marriage. I really had this thought that I was to be the best father and the best husband possible. So when my wife and I separated, I felt like my purpose had been removed from my life. So then my life was just aimless. I was walking around. I really didn't have any direction going towards that purpose because I felt like I didn't have a purpose. And I find that when I speak to people on a regular basis, that identifying their purpose is very, very difficult for them because it's like they're not really sure exactly what it is. Now, they know that they have one, they just don't know what it is. So looking at your decisions, I really kind of have people go over the decisions they're making. So for me, this was like, well, I thought that I was supposed to be the best father and husband as possible. But I was thinking that when I was popping a cigarette in my mouth. So I was taking years off of my life and making a decision that was actually going the complete opposite way of what I thought my purpose to be. So what that identified to me, what God really revealed to me, is I had no idea what my purpose was. I was just making decisions in general. Like, for instance, when I used to drink, I didn't drink because I liked the taste of alcohol, or I thought it would be fun, or I was trying to fellowship with different people, and so I was trying to kind of like let the juices flow, I guess, or relax a little bit. And so I was having a drink just to kind of fellowship with people. No, I was not doing that. I was drinking for the purpose of getting drunk, which would make me a drunkard in that season. And then taking me away from that purpose of, I thought I was supposed to be the best father and husband possible. But if you're a drunkard, that's not happening. So I was making decisions. My direction was opposite of what I thought my purpose was to be. So then now I take that and now I look at the things that I do now. I make sure that I make decisions that are going to make my direction pointed to my purpose. My purpose is to be the best example, father, husband, leader in our ministry, mentor, coach, whatever I can do as a servant for the glory of God, be that servant, be that obedient servant at the highest ability possible. So since that's my purpose, I make decisions along with that purpose. So you see this all throughout the Bible, from Saul to David and Bathsheba, even Joseph, in the beginning when his brothers did what they did, and then he showed them that he wanted vengeance at first. You can see that he was moving away from his purpose, and things weren't exactly, there was conviction that came in because he was moving away from it. Saul turning into Paul, at first he was really, really doing Christians really, really dirty, really, really wrong at first. And then making those decisions away from that purpose, and God stopped him and said, hey, what are we doing here? Why are we making decisions away from your purpose? So I wanted to make a video about, listen guys, go over your decisions and say, well, what is my purpose? And if I do have this purpose, if I am going to identify a specific purpose that I have in my life, do my decisions line up with that purpose? Am I moving towards that purpose by my decisions, or am I moving away from it? So if I'm moving away from it, then you can see that by gauging your decisions along with the Word of God. So for me personally, the smoking, the drinking, if I were to go partying and hanging out with people that I knew I had no business hanging out with, with. That was moving away from my purpose. I was doing things that I knew I was not supposed to be doing, and I was moving away from my actual purpose. So you can see this throughout the Bible, but at the end of the day, when you sit down and you look at your decisions and you say, I'm not supposed to provoke my children to anger, but I'm yelling and I'm screaming at them consistently, or I'm not supposed to, I'm supposed to treat my wife in an understanding way. However, everything that she does just irritates me, and so then I don't want to be emotionally available for her. Or if you're a woman and your husband, you're a stander, and the prodigal is just aggravating and mean and unkind, and you have no compassion for their journey, well, it says, wives, submit to your husband. So, even though he may not be submitting to God, you still are supposed to respect him. So again, are we making decisions that are away from our purpose or towards our purpose? So thank you guys for listening to this video. Again, Aaron Dade with Kingdom Blueprint, and we will see you guys again soon.